podcast coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube on a Tuesday. The club's going up on a Tuesday here as the North Dakota State Bison have won their 10th Division I national title. What a game, what a year, what a journey it has been. Tim Polasek follows Kleiman and Entz as coaches to win a national title in their first year as head coach. What a tremendous game, tremendous year. Cam Miller goes up on top here after, there was a lot of probably the most scrutinized quarterback of the Division I era and since the NDSU's run has started. And it was nice to see. Probably you could tell he was fired up. He was frustrated. I don't know if he was frustrated, but I know he was ready to go. I think his teammates were ready to go after not winning the Walter Payton Award. And just a tremendous game. Got off to a hot start. Had a 65-yard run like he was parting the Red Sea. I mean, I don't know if it was a defensive. If it had, I don't think there's no way they call that. I think there had to be just a break and just a lapse in communication because there's no way that should ever be that wide open.
You talking about the defensive lapse?
Montana State.
Yeah, okay, okay. Because that was definitely designed, that play itself.
Yeah, they said, I was watching the post-game press conference before this started, and he said it was quarterback draw with a pass option. And I mean, when you see the middle of the field as wide open as Andre's sister, you have to take it.
Well, I was actually, before the ball was even snapped, I saw there's just no one there. I was like, I can't see the safeties, but there's no linebackers there. I'm like, this has to be a draw. And if, honest to God, if we can see that, because when's the last time you saw NDSU go five out not with Carson Wentz at quarterback? You could probably count it on one hand how many times that's happened. I thought it was a terrible defensive call by Montana State.
Well, and guys, in the first quarter, I'm not going to lie. I after his first touchdown when he dove in the end zone, and you see him take that shot to the face, I'm like, oh, this game's over. I thought he got hit so hard he was concussed, and he was going to be gone. And all this magic we're talking about wasn't going to happen because, God, he took a shot there. And you see him on the sideline bleeding out of his nose, just looked to be in serious pain. I was like, oh, I thought the game was over at that point because there's no way he's coming back.
I didn't even see that.
After it was the first touchdown, Ethan, when he dove, you saw the Montana State linebacker come in hot, and his helmet hit him right in the face.
Did you guys hear the Montana State's quarterback's comment after the game?
Yeah, he said that the better team lost today. I was like, well, the scoreboard says otherwise. So
you're down 21-3?
21-3.
21-3.
No.
And they showed that Polasek's pregame speech, and he said this game's going to come down to 6 plays. And I had a list of 5, or he's going to come down to 5 to 6 plays. And those 6 plays, NDSU made all 6 of those. You look at that 3rd and 6 catch in the fourth quarter by Raja Nelson that extended the drive that put him up by 10. The Bryce Lance's catch right before halftime that he caught right on the goal, like the half-yard line. And then the long catch he made that kind of regained some of NDSU's momentum that Montana State had. After Montana State made it 28-25. No, it would have been 21-18, and they made it 28-18. And then the third down drop that Montana State had that would have extended the drive right after the defense got off the field and Montana had a chance to go take the lead. Sure. And then the onside kick recovery is, I guess, to round out that 6 play. I don't know if you guys have another 6 play, but that's the difference between that championship pedigree of NDSU and Montana State was the team that makes those plays.
Dylan, did you mention
wins it?
Did you mention at the end of the first half with 40 seconds left that 4th down stop that NDSU had?
I did not. That's another one.
That's another one too, because
that's probably a top 3 right there.
Honestly, if not 2,
Yeah.
because even if Montana State doesn't go down and score a touchdown, if at least kick a field goal, the momentum is slowly on their side.
Or if they just punt.
Yeah,
there's no way NDSU goes down there that quick.
No, what are they going to try? A quick screen or a draw to try to get 15 yards and do something? No, or are they just going to go right into halftime?
I will say this is probably the best receiving group NDSU has had, I should say, since
by far and away, for sure.
Draw. Like, those guys were studs. These guys are studs too. Like Henderson, the most games ever played in NDSU jersey. Like, I had no freaking idea until they said that.
72.
That's insane.
And it was for Montana State. It felt like, if not this game, when they had probably 70% of the stands there. You could tell it was definitely a pro Montana State crowd, as they were louder, especially when NDSU was on offense.
Yeah, that was actually a little surprising.
Well, wait till next year when it goes to Nashville and it's something different and NDSU takes over Nashville.
That's the thing. When you're there, 6 times in 8 years? I mean, yeah.
11
10
and 14.
times in 13 or 11 and 13, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
People get bored with it.
Mm-hmm.
They do, which is unfortunate because it's tough and it's unprecedented and it will never happen again. And like I said, Montana, like, if not now, when? This was the best Montana State team of the Division I era, probably in their program history. And this is NDSU of their 10 national titles, probably towards the bottom as far as talent-wise. And NDSU still found a way to come out on top.
Who's their QB next year?
And who? NDSU's?
NDSU.
It'll be Cole Payton, the lefty from Omaha. He was the backup. He got hurt in they kind of utilized him like what South Dakota State did with Chase Mason, kind of as a
I remember him.
I remember him
versus Colorado now.
And he got hurt in the regular season South Dakota State game, and I think he broke his collarbone or something. So
gotcha.
I think they said he'll be ready for spring ball, so we'll see what he looks like in the spring. But everybody said the dynasty was dead, but I got news, folks. The boogeyman is back, and they are back with a vengeance here. So, incredible game, 10th national title, and right now I think going into next year with all the uncertainty at South Dakota State with the new coaching staff, curious to see how their roster shapes up. Not sure what's going to happen with Montana State either, because they are losing a lot as well. Right now, probably the 2 top teams in FCS right now, I would say, would be NDSU and South Dakota, with Bauman coming back for the Coyotes.
Yeah, losing Tice will hurt, but yeah, bringing the QB.
And they lost that stud DN that he's got offers already from like Mississippi State, and I can't remember where else.
He's probably going to go to like a Texas Tech or somewhere, just some stupid money.
He'll go with he's gonna be teammates with Cole Wisniewski then if he goes to Texas Tech. Which NDSU also, I saw just picked up a commitment from a guy from Texas Tech that was in the portal. So
interesting.
That wraps up the FCS talk for the year, as we've done for the last 10 times in the last 14 years. NDSU is a national champion. Let's go up to the FBS here. We've got 2 semifinal games, one Thursday, one Friday. That's going to kick us off before the NFL playoffs start on Saturday. We'll start on Thursday, Notre Dame versus Penn State. And for me, this game's going to be a slugfest, guys. This game is going to be a defensive battle, low scoring. Curious to see if Abdul Carter is going to play. It sounds like he's going to try and give it a go. How effective he's going to be. Yeah, he didn't.
Was it
he
shoulder?
Barely played in something like that.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And I think that's going to be the key, because he's going to be someone that they probably, if he is able to play, they're going to just try to spy Riley Leonard and not let him get going with his legs. but both of these teams are looking to get over the hump. Both of these teams are kind of in that area of can they win the big game type of game, and who's going to be less nervous coming out.
I think I saw a stat. Was it yesterday or Sunday maybe? Notre Dame has pressured the quarterback on 44% of the dropbacks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Damn near 50%.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have two really good corners, and they trust their safety play.
Those are two freshmen.
Yeah, and they don't care. They will put you on an island, and they will make you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. And plus, you have Watts back there at safety, just roaming, waiting to. He's just a freaking missile.
Well, yeah, he's a first-team All-American. It's just the riches that Notre Dame has on the defensive side of the ball is actually kind of terrifying, because you watched them play against Georgia last week, guys, and you would have thought the jerseys were on the wrong team.
Yeah,
like with how fast and athletic and how long Notre Dame is on defense and how deep they are, you would have thought that should have been the Georgia Bulldogs defense. And Georgia's defense, yes, those two linebackers are special, but besides that, they lacked athletic ability, big playmaking, and just a passion, discipline. Well, that shouldn't surprise us. Everyone's got a Bentley down there, but they were off. And like I said, those jerseys should have been swapped with how good that Notre Dame defense is this year.
Like, their offense isn't anything special, but if they score 13 points, they're going to win.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, no offense to Aller, he's looked pretty solid. I have no idea how good the O-line is for Penn State. The Gophers got after him pretty good. I would imagine
it's not that great. I know it's their O-line is.
And it's weird because, like, if you look at like their recruiting rankings, like they recruit the offensive line as good as anyone, but the development just isn't there. I mean,
that's the whole
they've had what 2 or 3. They've had 2 or 3 first round offensive linemen the last 5-6 years.
Tashano.
Is it?
Yeah, that's just just a Franklin team. Like, he's been getting 4 stars and a few 5 stars trickled in here and there for the better part of 5 years. Like, it's just at some point he's got to obviously like getting to the conference football semifinals is a pretty big freaking deal. But with the talent he has, he needs to start producing more draft picks because it hasn't been nearly as much as it should.
Well, and this thing with this Penn State team, they made it to the college football playoff semifinal. Congratulations. This still is not a good season for them. Look at who they've played in their 2 playoff games. They played an SMU team who, let's maybe call a spade now, shouldn't have been in, and they played a Boise team with inferior talent compared to Penn State and one good player, but everybody in the building knew where Boise's offense was going to go.
And honestly, until the 4th quarter, Boise State was within striking distance. Not saying
within striking distance,
necessarily a threat, but with John T, it's always one play.
Exactly. In Penn State, so far this year, even though they're in the college football semifinal, it's the same Penn State team, like you said, Ethan. Yeah, they're uber talented, and they have 2 or 3 really studs on defense. In offense, that's just okay. But when it's nut cutting time and they're playing the big bad Wolves, they always fall up short.
I'm pumped to watch Watts versus Warren. That's going to be awesome.
Yes,
well, that's going to be the key to the game.
That's going to be fantastic.
The other thing with Penn State is against Boise State is first quarter and a half, they were gashing that Boise State. They were shredding the defense of Boise State running the ball. And then Josh Koldenicki just decided that he was going to start trying to throw the ball out to receivers where that is a weak point on their offense. And I sat in on a session at a Glacier clinic of Josh Koldenicki, and I still have the notes of what he was talking about.
Fun fact, he's from Litchfield, Minnesota by Wilmer.
Yes. His brother was an All-American linebacker at UND.
Oh, no shit.
Yep. And talking about getting their playmakers the ball early and often, what they do well, and understanding their personnel. And thought I had a little bit better. Now I can't find it. But anyways, this is yeah, it worked against Boise State, but it's not going to work against Notre Dame. Is get your playmakers the ball. Feed Tyler Warren. Feed Nick Singleton. Feed Katron Allen. Get those guys the ball. You don't need to get cute. Play to your strengths and go out there and score. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Don't get cute. Just do what you're best at, and you're going to be successful here. So let's go to predictions, fellas. Who do you guys got winning this one?
I picked Notre Dame from the beginning to make the championship. I actually picked them to win. I got to go Notre Dame.
Score?
I'll say 23-12.
23-12.
I think Penn State gets 4 field goals.
4 field.
That checks out.
Going Iowa.
I'm also going Notre Dame. I'm gonna go 19-13.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep, so it'll be Penn State. I got Notre Dame 2017.
Okay, a little closer.
Here. So then let's go over to the Friday game, Texas versus Ohio State. Frankly, the last time we saw Ohio State play, it was a boat race. It was over the first possession. I think this game is going to be – I think we're going to know the outcome of this game within the first couple of possessions. If Ohio State gets out to that fast start again, it's going to be over. They are right now a team, a freight train, and you don't want to be standing on those tracks when they're coming down Texas, they have to play a full 60 minutes. They haven't done it since
Michigan.
Michigan probably.
Michigan? I was going to say Michigan.
Michigan or Oklahoma.
Yeah, they did dismantle Oklahoma. Yeah,
they boat raced those guys, but that was mid-October, over 2.5 months ago.
Yeah. Yep. Honestly, like Ohio State's offense has been unreal. Like Jeremiah Smith, unstoppable. Why you don't cover him if you're Oregon, I have no freaking clue. But that's a choice. But their defense is just humming. Like Oregon, separation, they had nothing. Is it Downs? Is that their
Downs
safety?
The safety? Yeah,
unbelievable player. Like
Igmanosson's been playing really well.
Yeah,
and then that
Oregon,
D-line.
It didn't matter what Oregon did. They couldn't do shit.
And then the D-line in the second half, once it basically turned into a drop-back pass game for Oregon. Like, what have you heard from Ohio
Oregon
State?
Player was basically the Michigan flag to Jack Sawyer last weekend. Like, he just wanted to destroy him.
They JTT and Jack Sawyer, the biggest thing you hear from Ohio State fans going into this year is, and after the Oregon game, is they've been hearing about how dominant they have been, but they haven't seen it, especially in big games where they haven't shown up. They're showing up right now, and they're living up to that 5-star potential. And then on the back end, Caleb Downs is playing incredible. The corners have improved immensely since the Oregon game. And offensively, it looks like a completely different team. They've actually played to their strengths. They aren't trying to prove anything. Will Howard's taking care of the football, playing with tons of confidence. He is 0-3 versus Texas, as I will kind of shift here to try and make a case for Texas here. There's not much. They have to survive the first quarter. One thing with Oregon, that Oregon had success against Ohio State and they just didn't do it enough, and they couldn't because of the score of the game, is they actually had success running in the inside of that Ohio State defense. We'll see if Sark is has a better game plan than what Oregon had. That was the other thing, is Oregon's game plan made zero sense.
I really don't know what they tried to do defensively.
Let Ohio State score. That's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, like letting Jeremiah Smith run open 20 yards down the field, like, it was just not a great idea.
Well, and guys, honestly, I think that also comes down to it truly does show how little time you have to practice with these college kids. If they got to go to class,
But they shouldn't have because they're on break, though. So I don't think those rules apply.
Don't they still have those limitations? But I guess
not
also
when they're only if school is in session.
Also,
so
I will say this:
it's Christmas break.
I will say this though, you can tell these colleges' defenses aren't like NFL defenses because they have so much less time throughout the year to build these game plans and how to double team someone when they line up anywhere and everywhere they go. Like, in the NFL, when Jeremiah Smith eventually gets to the NFL and he's playing these top tier defenses, they're going to know what to do with him when he lines up everywhere he goes, just because of the sheer amount of practice time and how much information you can give those players and how much they absorb. These college kids, they don't have much time. They have a lot going on in their mind right now. This isn't their job. So that's why he's able to have huge games like this when he shouldn't, to your point, Dylan. The level of coaching and the amount of time you have together to build a team defense is so much more in the NFL, which is why you have elite defenses across the league compared to what you see in college.
Yep. And I mean, Quinn Ewers has to play up to his 5-star potential. He needs to play like he did in that final drive in overtime for them to really have a shot. But prediction time for me is I think Texas can keep it close for about a quarter and a half, and then I think you see Ohio State flex their muscles, and I have Ohio State winning 41-24 over Texas.
I'm going to go 36-22 Ohio State.
Yeah, again, another clean sweep for Ohio State here. And for me, the big struggle, I think, is going to be Texas's offensive line dealing with this Ohio State front. The 2 times that Texas has played the legit front 7 this year, they've gotten their asses handed to them. And that was Georgia both times. Even last week against Arizona State, Texas's offense could not get anything really established on the ground. And when they can't get the running game going, that offense is nothing. And then also, is Isaiah Bond going to play? Because if Isaiah Bond can't play, Texas has no chance because he's their deep threat and he's the straw that stirs the drink, where when he's on the field, you're forced to play cover 2 because you don't know when he's going to take the top off the defense. And in the return, you're playing that cover 2. You get those light boxes, and Texas can establish that run game. But I'm with you guys. It's not going to be enough. Ohio State's going to win this game 33-20.
33-20, and I just looked. Looks like Isaiah Bond practiced. Sark said they're going to be pretty healthy and ready to go. So keep an eye on that. And I guess we're headed for a Ohio State Notre Dame national.
Dylan's worst nightmare.
In that situation, you have to root for Notre Dame, right, Dylan? Like if I make you choose a team, right?
Yeah, I will be the biggest Irish fan you have ever seen. And I just looked at my schedule, and I'll be doing play-by-play of a basketball game. So if Ohio State and Notre Dame are playing in the national title, which is probably pretty likely, I guess I'm not going to be sad that that's the national title game that I miss. So let's go up to the NFL. We got Wildcard weekend here, and going to be, I don't know, this feels like it could potentially be blowout city looking at the score of a couple of these games. But we'll kind of just go in order here with our predictions and keys to the game. Texans versus Chargers starting us off. A tradition unlike any other is the Texans playing the 3:30 game on Saturday. In their history of playing in the first round, they have every Saturday 3:30 game that they've been in the playoffs for. That's the time slot the Texans have played. And those have been some doozies, ugly ones, like just Games that you don't want to watch. If you want to miss a game, this is one.
A lot of ugly games.
Yeah.
What was it? The Brock Osweiler Connor Cook game. That one set football back like 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
But
even the game they played against Buffalo, it was January 2020, so the 2019 regular season. That game had nothing going for it for 55 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes was just an absolute spaz attack.
Yes.
Which we didn't know where we were at or what was going on.
Yep. What was it in 2015 when they played the Chiefs and the Chiefs boat raced them, ran them off out of their own building?
They did, because the Chiefs took the opening kickoff back that day.
That's right. And, well, we don't have to get into what happened the next year at Arrowhead that same weekend. We won't talk about that one against the Titans. Or was that 2 years? Whatever, it don't matter.
It would have been 2 years, yeah.
Probably one of your favorite, probably the maddest I've ever seen Grant after a football game was that one.
Wow.
I had to be his therapist.
That's saying something.
Yeah, that game was some bullshit.
We're not going to give Kareem Hunt the ball. But this...
that game pisses me off because I think that team had a chance to beat the Patriots. I'll say this. Travis Kelce did get a concussion in the first half. That Chiefs team is not beating the Patriots without Travis Kelce.
Fair.
Had Kelce, not gotten hit in the head, which it was a clean hit, by the way. It's football. I think that team could have won in Foxborough that year because they were humming at that time.
Was that was 2017, right?
2017 regular season.
That was Alex Smith's last year as the starter.
His last year. Yep. They started out 5-0. I think they lost 5 of their next 6, and then won their last 5. It was a roller coaster of a year.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But let's talk about this one: Texans versus Chargers. Chargers getting healthy at the right time. The Texans are lucky that they play in the AFC South and the rest of the division is terrible, and they were the survivor of the AFC South. I don't know if you can say any team won it. The Texans just lost the least.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think the Chargers, like I said, they're getting healthy. They're running the ball. It seems like they are clicking on all cylinders right now. Justin Herbert had the best season of his career. And Harbaugh in the playoffs, he's looking poised to, I think he wants his revenge against the Chiefs. If everything goes as falls in place for him, I think he wants a rematch back at Arrowhead. I think this game is close. But I think in typical Harbaugh fashion, I think the Chargers find a way to pull away in the second half. I have them winning 30-13.
I just don't think they can protect Stroud. I'm going to go Chargers 29-19.
Yeah, Ethan, I'm with you. This Texans team in the offseason went all in at the wide receiver position. All their wide receivers are now hurt. They cannot protect C.J. Stroud. This Jesse Minter defense is flying around. And also, it's the ghost of football past for C.J. Stroud. He's 0-2 against Harbaugh and Jesse Minter. He's going to be thinking that because he went to Ohio State, and they're consumed with the University of Michigan and anyone to do with the University of Michigan. So let's call this a hat trick. 0-3 for Stroud against Harbaugh and Jesse Minter this weekend. Chargers win easy, 31-13.
Okay, all right. There it is. And then I think we're going to have 2 blowouts on Saturday, guys. Ravens-Steelers, this is the Amazon Prime game. I don't see any
How fitting that this game is on Amazon.
Yes. I don't see any. There's nothing that proves or provides me with any belief that the Steelers are going to be within 3 scores of the Ravens. I don't see this game being close at all. I don't even think we really have to talk a whole lot about this game because it's going to be a blowout. I have it Ravens 41, Steelers 14.
Trying to think what I want to do for this one. I don't think it's going to be close. The Steelers are falling off the wagon. Pickens is back to the head case we all know he is. I'm going to say 38-15.
12. Oh, 15. Okay.
5 field goals.
That's
okay.
5 golden rings.
So Penn State gets 4 field goals. So there's a combined 9 field goals for the state of Pennsylvania in the playoffs right now, and we're not even done yet.
Nope.
I know.
9 field goals, 2 losses as it stands for the state of
There's
Pennsylvania.
going to be touchdowns in the other one. You don't worry.
Yeah.
Guys, the Steelers are clearly a lost football team. They don't believe in their quarterback. They don't believe in their offense. This defense is breaking down because they can't carry this team anymore. Russell Wilson should retire. He's not a leader. You listen to him on Hard Knocks and you watch him on Hard Knocks. His team does not rally around him. Mike Tomlin, for some reason, cannot get these guys motivated. This is going to be ugly. And all Mike Tomlin does is have winning season chatter is not going to be as cool anymore, because just like Penn State in Pennsylvania, the Steelers beat everybody they should, but lose to good teams. And that continues on Saturday, and the Ravens are just an absolute wagon that's moving right now. And they're going to win this thing 34-10.
34-10. All right. Well, then let's go to the Sunday games. Bills versus Broncos. This is going to be an intriguing matchup. I think we're going to have blowouts on Saturday. I think we're going to have some competitive games Sunday. And this game is going to come down to a game of the trenches. Can the Broncos defense, which they've led the NFL in sacks, are they going to be able to get to Josh Allen? I think this is very important that they have to rush with great integrity and not let him scramble around. I think that's key for both defensive lines, because if you keep both of them in the pocket, they won't kill you as much and turn a big play into a big play. And in the end, though, I think the Broncos are a team on the rise. I think they're only going to get better. I don't think the Broncos will be able to run the ball good enough against the Bills defense. I think they're playing on the road. The crowd is going to be rowdy. There's going to be dildos thrown on the field. I think that the Broncos hang around for about 2.5 quarters, and I think in the end, Buffalo ends up establishing a lead. I got the Bills winning 28-17.
I feel like the Broncos are going to hang around as well. Their pass rush has really come on of late. And then you obviously have Surtain on the outside, shuts down basically one whole side of the field. So as long as they can contain Josh Allen, they have a chance at winning this game. I'm going to go Bills 24-21.
Ooh, one possession game.
I'm on the Buffalo hype in this game here, guys, because if we look at Denver's defense, weeks 12 to 16, it really kind of fell off a cliff. And the last game that their defense played where it mattered the most, Cincinnati exposed them. I understand you have Surtain, and there's a chance he could be on, Amari Cooper. But besides that, the backs and the tight ends and Josh Allen's legs are going to be too much in this Denver game. This will be a case of some team who's been there, done that, and then a Denver team who they're new and fresh, and they got in, but they kind of limped in. They lost their last 3 games before they beat the Chiefs. I think it was last 3 before they played the Chiefs last week and beat up on those guys. But Denver's not too confident right now in how they're playing, And to me, this feels like it's kind of got Kansas City, Miami last year written all over it, where the home team dominates, wins 23-7, but the score is going to feel like it should be closer to 38-7 or 40-7. So I got the Bills in this game, and I'm gonna say easy.
All right. Well, what's your final score prediction?
I'll go 27-10.
27-10. Okay. There it is. Yes, and they lost 2 before they beat the Chiefs. They lost to the Chargers and the Bengals.
That's right.
But let's go to the 3:25 game on Sunday. Eagles versus Packers. Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol. The Packers, you talk about a team that has limped in. They are the epitome of limping in. They lost to the Bears, for Christ's sake. I mean, we can talk about
1-5 in the division.
1-5 in the division. They haven't beaten a good team all year, and I'm not worried right now. I think Jalen Hurts is going to play. It's Tuesday. It's their off day anyways. They are playing on Sunday. I think if he's still in concussion protocol on Thursday, I think that's where you might see some eyebrows raised. Like, is he going to play? But the big thing for the it might not matter because Saquon is on a mission. He is rested. He is healthy. The Packers' run defense is abysmal, and he could be hitting his head on the goalpost multiple times. And then on the flip side too, for the Packers, the last couple of weeks, it feels as if they've just gotten away from Josh Jacobs, which is the strength of their offense. When he's going, that offense goes, and it takes all the extra pressure off Jordan Love, who thinks he needs to throw every pass on his back foot and loses his accuracy, and he hasn't looked as good these last few weeks either.
I'm also going to take the Eagles, Dylan, in this game, and then also with the Packers losing Christian Watson last week to that torn ACL, I believe that takes away kind of their deep threat option. He's averaging 21 yards per reception this year, and the Eagles last week they kind of had a mini bye week. They're going to get everyone refreshed, ready to go, and attack the day. And again, Green Bay, they're just limping into this playoff season right now with Love leaving last week's game, Jair Alexander being told he's going to miss the rest of the regular season. I just feel like Philadelphia is the hot team, and Green Bay is the team where it's like, well, we're here, but we're banged up, and I think it's going to be a fast one. I think the Eagles win 31-10.
31-10, wow. The last time somebody predicted that the Packers get steamrolled on Wildcard weekend, the Packers steamrolled the other team. We don't have to name that team, but
well, I actually picked them to win, so I'm not picking them to win this time. So we don't have to worry about that.
Okay, fair enough. I have Eagles winning 24-17 on this one.
If Jalen Hurts plays, I have the Eagles 40-14. I think they beat the living shit out of them.
Ooh. All right.
If he doesn't,
and then
I still have the Eagles winning 27-20.
27-20. All right. We got a one-score game. And then the nightcap on Sunday, Bucks versus Commanders. The Bucks seem to be clicking at the right time. Baker Mayfield has a lot of big game experience. This is Jaden Daniels' first playoff game. The big key here for the Bucks defense is keeping Jaden Daniels in the pocket and not letting him extend plays and run all over the place, which he has killed teams with throughout his Rookie of the Year campaign. Like I said, prediction-wise, I think the Commanders are going to be able to move the ball. But I think the Bucks, they're just playing too well right now. They're too experienced. And I have them winning 31-21.
I think this is going to be the game of the weekend. Rematch of Week 1 this year. Tampa Bay beat Washington pretty good. But with how far the Commanders have grown throughout this year, This game's going to be more competitive, and no defense in the NFL gives up more big plays than the Buccaneers. And I think Washington's going to take advantage of that. But I don't think this Washington defense can get enough stops consistently. And Baker is playing out of his mind. 71% completion percentage on the year. I want to say over 4,000 yards passing again. This Washington defense, they're just not ready for the moment. Even when they upset the Eagles here at the end of the regular season, they still gave up 30-plus points. And that was when Jalen left the game injured. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a fun game. But at the end of the day, Baker's been here and done that in the playoffs. Jaden hasn't. Baker's going to make a play or two extra, and the Bucs are going to win this game 34-30.
34-30. All right. Ethan, did you make a prediction for this one yet? No.
Not yet. I think it's going to be 37-34 Tampa. Baker gets the last laugh.
Another high-scoring game. All right. Well, then let's get to the Monday night finale, the Rams versus Vikings game. Hopefully, they're saving the best for last. I do think this game is going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a back and forth game, just like it was the first time these two teams have played. Vikings, it's one of their losses, looking for revenge. And I think this was a game that you really saw the Vikings kind of turn around, and especially something with KOC, his play calling got a lot better, because if you remember that first game, Vikings went right down those first two possessions, scored, got up. Did they get up 14-0? I think
it was 14-7.
Or 14-7. And then after that, the offense just kind of petered out and didn't do anything. Last week, Sam Darnold looked worst game so far in a Vikings uniform. Technically, I'll count it. Coward was talking about this today on his show that that was basically a playoff game for Sam Darnold. That was his first playoff game. He got the jitters out of the way on this one. I think KOC, I think he's going to be more committed to the run game and try to keep Matt Stafford off the field. And when he is on the field, I think Brian Flores is going to find a way to get pressure on him, especially in the red zone. I think the Rams are going to move the ball, but I think the difference in the game is that the Vikings are going to get a couple of stops in the red zone where the Rams have to settle for field goals. I got the Vikings winning a tight one, 21-20.
I think this will probably be the closest game of the week. I also think the Vikings defense bounces back. Like last time, I think it was the first game Puka in Cup. We're both healthy together, so you don't really know what they're going to do. Flores has,
and the Vikings defense last week played well. They kept them in that game.
They did 100%. They played fine. Flores is going to have a better game plan this time. Puka's not going to be open for fucking 15 receptions, whatever it was. I don't even know. But I think the Vikings pull it out 28-24. I think they come back and they hit the road for the next one.
They get to go back to Detroit.
Depending on if the Packers are, or Washington.
Or Washington. Yeah, it depends on. We'll know Monday going into this game where the winner of this game goes.
Yeah.
But I'm with you guys. I think just the fact that knowing that Puka Nacua is going to play all week, and you just don't get him on a short week coming off injured reserve, what's the snap count going to look like? That'll be something where Flores can build up a defense, maybe double team him. You can put your best guy on Gilmore, the old Bill Belichick trick. But then also just with kind of how inconsistent and how bad the Rams offensive line has been this year, I feel like the Vikes are going to be able to get after Stafford, who is a standing statue back there. Matt Stafford does not want to move. And I think Flores is going to bring the pressure and confuse the looks on the back end enough where Stafford is not going to know what to hit him. And then in return, that pass rush can get home. So give me the Vikes to win this game 27-19.
Well, also last game, one of the biggest plays was we had Stafford wrapped up in the backfield, gets away, and he finds Nacua in the end zone. So, they're going to wrap up this time.
They will. And let's wrap up the show. That's a good segue, Ethan. Let's kick it over to you for a curveball of the week.
Yeah. I had one earlier, and now I forgot it. What was I going to say? What's your favorite chore to do at home?
Favorite chore?
Yep. Oh. You got me on this when you said you cleaned your whole house over the weekend.
Ooh. I will say it was a good sense of accomplishment after I did all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Is getting the house all cleaned and deep clean my sink in the kitchen. Only thing I didn't get done was vacuum and mop the floors, but got the shower clean. I got a shower scrubber for Christmas. That was exciting. Let's see here. It's definitely not dusting. That's my least favorite chore. That's actually good because those are the last few curveball questions I've had is punishments and punishments that you had that you knew when you screwed up or the dumbest punishment. But getting everything organized and decluttering. That's a good chore. It sucks in the process, but once you get it done, it's like, okay, I'm glad we did this.
Because you have to make a mess before you can make it better.
Correct.
You know, honestly, I'd say vacuuming, just for the sheer fact of Ethan sent an Instagram post the other day of Patrick Starr looking over someone with that grin on his face, and when you hear the vacuum, pick up all of that dust and debris, and really get the spot where you go and clean. It's just, that Patrick Starr meme takes it over the top. So I'll say vacuuming.
Oh, did we lose Ethan?
We lost Ethan, it looks like.
Uh-oh. He's frozen in time. We might not even get to hear it. It was his question.
I have a hunch he'll say vacuuming too. Because a couple years ago in his old apartment, they bought a Roomba. Is that what they're called?
Oh, that's right.
It could program and go all the way around his house at a certain time and everything else like that. So I bet you he'd say vacuuming.
Vacuuming? Okay. Well, if we aren't able to get him back, we'll just say it was vacuuming, and if we're wrong, we're wrong. So that wraps up the show here. We'll be back next week, probably Tuesday again, to recap and look ahead to the weeks ahead, and then talk about the weekend in Minneapolis that we're gonna spend together, and go to a Michigan-Minnesota basketball game. My first time going to the barn, and unfortunately not get to go to a Vikings playoff game, but maybe they wouldn't be playing on Saturday because they played Monday. So that won't that's not going to be in the cards. That'll be a Sunday game, but nonetheless, we will check us out on all of our social medias. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe there. Oh, and do we have him back?
We're back.
Let's see if I'm right. Ethan? Let's see if I'm right.
I think Grant's going to say, I heard him say Patrick Starr. I think he was referencing an Instagram post I sent. Hearing that little crackle going into the vacuum. Yes. Something about it.
And your old Roomba at your apartment where you had it set up to go around the whole place and it learned it for you. You were so proud of that because it got around.
I was very excited.
Into the kitchen and everything else like that.
Oh yeah, that thing dominated. And yet I still haven't set it up for a new place. So go me.
Nice.
Doing great things over here.
But all right, well, we were able to hear from Ethan what his favorite household chore is. So, like I said, follow us on all of our social medias. Make sure you like, subscribe, YouTube, 3GTB Podcast. And we'll be back next week. Thank you guys for listening.